In math class today, we're taking a look at W.9, solving multi-step equations, building on an understanding from what was lesson 26. Now remember, in lesson 26, we learned to solve multi-step equations by using inverse operations in the equation, and then the property of equality means if you do something to one side, you do to the other side. Here's an example problem that has a series of multi-steps to solve. And our key idea is to solve for the variable. That means get the variable by itself. Use inverse operations to undo the operations that are in the equation. Be sure to do the same operation to both sides of the equation. So here's our example, q minus 4 divided by 3. So you see that you've got minus 4 and divide by 3. We're working that reverse order. It says instead of divide by 3, multiply by 3, because that will get rid of this division. Now it has q minus 4 equals 3, because you multiply by 3 on both sides. And now you have minus 4, so the opposite would be to add 4, and you get to simplify q all by itself, or that variable all by itself. Let's go back to our practice. Here's an example of 3k minus 5 equaling 9. Now, whenever you see the parentheses, you have to go ahead and solve with what's called our distributive property. So the 3 is multiplied by the k and by the 5. 3 times k is 3k. 3 times 5 is 15. Keep the same sign. Equals 9. So I have 3k minus 15 equals 9. Now I have a two-step problem, but I'm going to work in reverse order. So I have minus 15. I add 15 to both sides. I would have 15 plus 9. The 5 and the 9 are going to add together to give a 4. Carry the 1, give you 24. So 3k equals 24. Then we divide by 3 to separate that division. What you do to one side, you do to the other. The 3's will cancel on the side with the k, leaving k by itself. 24 divided by 3 is going to give us a total of 8. Here you have y plus 1 in your numerator divided by 3 equals 2. Well, from our example problem, it told us to get rid of that multiplication from the that division from the get-go. So if it says divide by 3, I take the entire section and I multiply by 3. That would cancel that out. But if I multiply by 3 on the left-hand side, I have to multiply by 3 on the right-hand side. So 2 times 3 in that case would give me 6. My new equation would be y plus 1 equals 6. I subtract 1 from both sides. 1 minus 1 is going to cancel out. 6 minus 1 is going to give me 5. Y equals 5. Here you have 6 divided by j equals 2. Again, our goal in a multi-step equation is to get the variable by itself, so I have to use inverse operations in my properties of equality. It says 6 divided by j equals 2. I can think about this in two ways. What's the operation that's being done, and then think of the opposite operation, or I can look at the fraction itself. 6 divided by what equals 2, or 6 is 2 times what value? In this case, if I say 6 divided by 3, I'd get 2, so I know that j equals 3, but how would I actually get to that answer? In this case, it says 6 divided by. To do the opposite of that would be to put 6 divided by 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Here you've got 6 divided by v equals 2. The same answer is going to be provided here. 6 divided by 3 equals 2. Here you've got another set of equations with a parentheses, so you're going to use your distributive property. 2 is going to be multiplied by the c, and then 2 is going to be multiplied by the 2. You would have 2c plus 4 equals 10 as your new equation. Subtract 4 on both sides, so you get 2c equals 6. Divide by 2, divide by 2. The 2's would cancel, so c is by itself. 6 divided by 2 is going to be 3. c equals 3. Here you don't have any parentheses, but you've got negatives that are involved. Let's see if we can solve this with our inverse operations. You got 2 minus r equals negative 6. Now, to think of this in terms of getting r by itself, you have to think what is in front of this 2. In front of this 2 is a positive value because it's a positive number, so you can do the opposite of that plus 2 and subtract 2. If I subtract 2 from both sides, I'm going to get negative r by itself, and it's going to be negative 6 minus 2. Same sign sum, add those up. You're going to keep the same sign and make that negative 8. So negative r equals negative 8. Now we're not done because this is asking us what positive r equals. I'm going to assume that there's a negative 1 multiplied by r, so there I'm going to divide by negative 1 on both sides. Therefore r equals positive 8. Another set of parentheses which you would distribute, solve with our two steps. I'm going to jump ahead to our challenge level to see the highest level of this type of problem solving. Again, you're using your problem solving with multi-steps to do the distributive property, then reset the equation. Here again, 7 times z would give you 7z. 7 times 1 is going to give you 7 equals 98. Subtract 7 from both sides. 98 minus 7 is 91. 7z equals 91. Divide by 7. Divide by 7. We've got 91 divided by 7. If I set that up, 7 goes into 9 one time. Multiply by 7. Subtract 2. Bring down the 1. 7 goes into 21 3. Z equals 13. You'll see that there's a pattern with these set of problems. You're either using your distributive property to solve those multi-step equations, then your inverse operations and properties of equality, or you're solving with the reverse order in terms of a fraction, and when it says divide, you're going to multiply to eliminate those operations. Again, our overall goal is to get the variable all by itself. God's blessings on your efforts to master this skill.